From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin. Lauren Casey has the morning off. We are tracking a developing story this morning. Indianapolis firefighters and first responders had to respond to a rope rescue overnight. This happened near the Indianapolis Zoo property. And here's what we know. We know a man fell asleep near a wall there in that area. And when he woke up, he noticed he fell off. So then Indianapolis firefighters and first responders had to conduct this rope rescue. You're seeing video of it right here on your screen right now. We will have the very latest on this. We do know this man is in the hospital this morning, but he is expected to survive. So we will have the very latest details. Now we want to get to your forecast. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is standing by. And Todd, it is a pretty nice morning stepping out the door.
You know, not bad at all, Nicole. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. The humidity, not bad here this morning. And the skies are mainly clear, at least from Indianapolis to the south. And even we are seeing a little bit of cloud cover to the north. As radar shows you in the center of your screen, it is quiet. There's nothing out there. A few specks of green there to the northwest of Lafayette, but that is just some feedback on the radar. That is not any actual rainfall. So throughout the day today, mostly sunny skies. It's another hot one. Temperatures just as warm as yesterday and still fairly muggy by September standards. You'll notice that. So it's definitely going to feel like it's in the 90s when you factor in the humidity. And today, probably no rain across northern locations. You've been very close or been dealing with the rain for the most of the week so far. But today's probably a day you don't really have to worry about that. It's more about the heat and humidity, but some changes are heading our way. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you. We know the pandemic has caused many struggles for Hoosier families and small businesses. So coming up this morning on Good Morning Indiana, we are going to break down information about the Senate voting on a new stimulus bill. It would provide an extra $300 weekly unemployment benefit. And also 2 years of tax credits for parents for private and homeschooling. So we're going to break that down coming up this morning during our newscast and tell you if it's likely to get passed. Also this morning on Good Morning Indiana, the Colts are preparing for week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That game is set for this Sunday at 1 p.m. in Jacksonville. We know there was no preseason games this season, so this is the first chance to see the Colts in action with their new quarterback this season. Lucas Oil Stadium has also announced new attendance procedures for the fans, so we're going to have all that information for you ahead on Good Morning Indiana. Plus, we have the latest news, weather, and traffic to get you started here on Wednesday morning.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Some much-needed relief could be on the way for Americans struggling financially due to the pandemic. Now at 4:30, a look inside the Senate stimulus bill proposal. Plus, there's news of a setback with one of the most promising vaccine studies this morning, why AstraZeneca is putting a hold on trials, including right here in Indiana. In Marion County, election officials want to make sure your voice counts in November, working for you how you can get all of your voting questions answered with just the click of your mouse. Thank you so much for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin. Lauren Casey, of course, has the morning off. Meteorologist Todd Clausen standing by. And Todd, it feels nice walking out the door, but it's still pretty warm for September, you were telling us.
Yeah, you know, we're going to be running about 10 to 12 degrees above normal here, Nicole, once again. Very similar to yesterday temperature-wise, as we'll be climbing up to right around 90 degrees. Here's the view from downtown. This morning, the temperature 71 degrees. The winds are calm, and the humidity up there this morning, and you could see on satellite and radar that we're still dealing with the same storm track that we've had the past few days, with the rain mainly being to the north, and sometimes that rain was making it into northern locations, and then southern portions of central Indiana being completely quiet. Well, it's clear once again this morning to the south, a little bit in the way of cloud cover to the north, but the bulk of the rainfall should stay north of central Indiana today, not impacting us at all. So it's a sun-filled day for us. We warm very quickly here this morning through the 60s and 70s, and by the noon hour already into the low 80s. Highs eventually right around 90 degrees. We'll talk about that and the changes that will come our way as we get towards the weekend, Nicole, coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Here's a live look as we keep an eye on traffic here on this Wednesday morning for you. This is I-465 at Kentucky Avenue on the southwest side. We do know the off-ramp in the southbound lanes is closed for construction until 6 a.m. You can see right now in this area traffic moving smooth to get you started here on Wednesday morning. New overnight, Indianapolis firefighters rescued a man after he fell off a cliff on the Indianapolis Zoo property. Fire officials say the man called 911 after falling from the limestone wall along the walking path bordering the zoo. He told crews that he fell asleep there, and when he woke up, he had fallen off. Emergency crews arrived around midnight and had to conduct a rope rescue to reach him. The man was taken to the hospital in serious condition, but is expected to recover. Now a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Indiana. The State Department of Health reporting 394 new cases. That is down from yesterday's numbers, but that could be due to a lag in reporting from the holiday weekend. 100,708 total cases of COVID-19 have been reported to state health officials so far. 12 new deaths have also been confirmed, bringing the state's death toll to 3,156. The overall positivity rate remains at 8.8%. This morning, a possible setback in the race for a COVID-19 vaccine. One of the most promising studies from the University of Oxford is now temporarily on hold. This as we learn more than 500,000 children have now tested positive in the U.S. for the virus, and college campuses deal with growing outbreaks. ABC's Faith Abubi is in Washington now with the very latest.
Late-stage human trials for a promising COVID-19 vaccine at the University of Oxford now temporarily on hold. AstraZeneca, the drug company behind it, saying it's a routine action for safety reasons after one of their volunteers suffered a potentially unexplained illness. The drug maker still hoping to minimize any potential impact on the trial timeline, while CEOs of 9 major drug companies in the race for a vaccine promised to not rush production, but to rather let science win. At least 30 states are now seeing a surge in COVID-19 cases as deaths in the U.S. hover around 190,000.
We've seen this dramatic spike.
The mayor of Athens, Georgia, among many fearing a return to campus is contributing to the rise in cases.
We're in much worse shape entering the fall than we were entering the summer. We're going to probably see a lot more cases ahead.
Colleges like the University of Rhode Island cracking down on large gatherings like this. At NYU, students will now be required to do a weekly self-test.
I guess it makes us feel a little safer that they're being pretty strict.
Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, the president still dangling a vaccine ahead of Election Day.
So now they know we have it. It's only a question of weeks.
And accusing Democrats of playing politics by adhering to strict COVID-19 guidelines.
On November 4th, every one of those states will be open. They're doing it for political reasons.
The Biden campaign releasing this new ad attacking Trump's handling of the pandemic and laying out 3 steps they say will ensure a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine.
We need to get control over the virus. Donald Trump failed. Joe Biden will get it done.
And on Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans are getting ready to unveil a slimmed-down COVID-19 relief bill worth roughly $300 billion. But the Democrats say it's headed nowhere because it's laden with poison pills. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Faith, thank you. And this morning we are taking a closer look at that stimulus bill. The Senate is expected to vote on it tomorrow. The scaled back version would be paid for in part by unspent money in the existing CARES law. It includes proposals for an extra $300 in weekly unemployment benefits, 2 years of tax credits for parents to cover costs of private and homeschooling, and an extension of the Paycheck Protection Program to the tune of nearly $258 billion. But it's still unclear if lawmakers will be able to come to a compromise.
We're going to get the stonewalling of Democratic leaders out from behind closed doors and put this to a vote out here on the floor.
It's only a check the box so that some of his endangered Republican senators can go home and say, well, see, I tried. But it isn't trying. It's not even an attempt to do the right thing. And Mitch McConnell knows that because he has to satisfy those Republicans in his caucus who don't want to spend one more dollar.
Well, the proposal is not expected to get the 60 votes it needs to send it to the House. The general election is less than 2 months away, and WRTV is working for you, sharing information and resources to help you exercise your vote. The Vote Indy website was created to help answer questions you may have about your ballot, where and how to vote, and how to check your registration, and much more.
It talks about vote by mail, just general planning. It gives a really detailed map.
The most important date that you need to know is October 5th. That is the deadline to register to vote in the November election. You can find links to Marion County's voting website and information for the rest of the state at WRTV.com. There's a new option to get a free flu vaccine specifically for Indiana veterans. A drive-through flu clinic for Hoosier vets will be set up at the Indy West VA community-based outpatient clinic. That's on Shore Drive near 38th and Eagle Creek Parkway. Vaccines will be given on September 18th and 25th from 9:30 to 11:30 and noon to 2 p.m. You are asked to bring your VA card and wear a short-sleeve shirt. More opportunities will be offered in October and November. New patients should contact Veteran Health Indiana to enroll. You can find information by clicking on this story on our website, WRTV.com. Indiana Avenue is back open to traffic this morning, and now it has a timely message that will live on forever. Part of the avenue was shut down to traffic so local artists could create a Black Lives Matter mural. Not long after the mural was unveiled, someone splattered it with paint. That paint is now cleaned off. Along with the words Black Lives Matter, the mural includes the names of Black Americans killed by police. The artists behind the mural have also created T-shirts with the murals on them. The site of the mural on Indiana Avenue has special significance. The street was once the Indianapolis Black community's business and social hub. Louisville, Kentucky has a new police chief. Straight ahead, why community leaders say the historic appointment could help heal the city and department after months of unrest. And much of the West Coast is up in flames as wildfires continue to burn across multiple states. A look at the damage and when relief could be on the way. Todd.
And Nicole, while they battle fires across the western portion of the country, the Midwest is on the verge of some cooler air. We're on the warm side of things, though. Look at Denver right now, 31, 29 in Casper. They had snow yesterday. Here in Indianapolis, we were near 90 degrees. We're back up there today as we remain on the mild side. We'll talk about when some of that cooler air does head in our direction, though, coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a few minutes.
New this morning, the former South Bend police officer who shot and killed Eric Logan last year is facing charges on an unrelated incident. 44-year-old Ryan O'Neill pleaded guilty to a ghost employment charge. He's accused of soliciting a prostitute while on duty. The incident came to light during the investigation into Logan's fatal shooting. The deadly encounter garnered national attention after it prompted Democratic presidential candidate and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg to temporarily leave the campaign trail. O'Neill was cleared of any wrongdoing in the shooting. In New York, the police chief of Rochester has announced his retirement, and this as protests continue over the death of Daniel Prude. Prude died back in March after police covered his head with a spit sock and held him down on the ground while he was naked. His family had called for help, saying he was suffering a mental health episode. Video of that encounter was made public recently, sparking protests across the city and country. Chief LaRon Singletary initially pledged to remain as chief of police and reform his department from the inside. That changed Tuesday when Rochester's mayor announced Singletary's retirement. He is expected to remain in his role until the end of this month. The deputy police chief and 2 commanders also submitted letters of retirement. Meanwhile, in Louisville, a new interim chief has been named. Yvette Gentry will be the first Black woman to lead the Louisville Metro Police Department. Her appointment comes at a time when racial tensions are incredibly high as the community continues to look for answers in the death of Breonna Taylor. The 24-year-old was killed by police during a botched search warrant. Gentry has been an officer for more than 20 years. Leaders in the community say she is the person that can bring a fractured police force and city together.
I think she will help stabilize things and work with the community, work with the officers.
She is a mother to Black sons. She is a wife to a Black man. She knows what it is to be Black in this community. She understands what it is to be a police officer in this community. I am proud of her for stepping up.
Gentry takes over on October 1st, and for now she has only signed a 6-month contract to lead the department. Wildfires are wreaking havoc on a number of western states. 2020 is the worst year for wildfires in California's history. The Creek Fire has scorched more than 2 million acres, and officials say the weather conditions aren't making matters any easier. Meanwhile, parts of Oregon are also getting scorched, and wildfires in Washington state are creating thick clouds of smoke and leaving some residents with very little. The National Interagency Fire Center says there are at least 87 major wildfires currently burning across the U.S. More than 4.7 million acres have been scorched nationwide so far this year. To the Gulf Coast, where cleanup efforts continue following Hurricane Laura. Midwest Food Bank is sending disaster relief to help victims in Beaumont, Texas. A truckload of food boxes is leaving for the state this morning. Family food boxes hold enough shelf-stable food to sustain a family of 4 for up to 5 days. Midwest Food Bank says volunteers to fill boxes will be needed in the coming days. Those volunteer opportunities will be posted on the organization's Facebook page. You can also make a financial donation online at midwestfoodbank.org. It is now 4:45. Let's check back in with Todd on your Wednesday forecast. Hey, Todd.
Good morning there, Nicole. It's a good start to our day here across the area, and overall it's going to be a very nice day for us. It may be a little warm for some, but that's probably the only thing you can nitpick here as we push into September 9th. Hard to believe today. We've been 9 days into the month already, and now we're still talking about 90-degree temperatures. This morning, though, we're in the 60s and 70s. 66 in Greencastle, as well as Muncie. 65 is the current temperature in Tipton. Still holding on to 71 degrees here in Indianapolis. But look at the temperature contrast on this map. Earlier I showed you the national map. It's 71 in Indy. You get to Chicago, it's 61. You get to Minneapolis, it's 48. You get to Bismarck, it's 36. This is a big push of some cold air early in this season, way ahead of schedule. And of course, they had that snow in Denver yesterday in parts of Wyoming. And we're just sitting on the warm side of things, and we'll continue to be on the mild side of things as we go throughout the next couple days. Now, today's the last day of the big time temperatures here across the area. When we see our highs get up to right around 90 degrees, we'll start to cool off a little bit, but we're not going to get into that really, really chilly air. Temperatures will be in the mid 80s here throughout the afternoon hours, 85 by 2 p.m., and then 87 to about 90 degrees for our high temperature later on this afternoon. Now, starting on Sunday and going through yesterday, most of the rain chances were in northern locations, and to the south, it's just been really dry and it's been really sunny. Clear from Indianapolis to the south right now, some clouds to the north, but the bulk of this shower activity will not make its way into central Indiana today. It's going to remain to the north, but it does remain scattered all the way back off to our west. So when you look at this satellite radar picture, it kind of looks like it's going to be a kind of a rainy day for us. It's not. High pressure is firmly in control for us here, and all this rain is just going to go right around the periphery of this area of high pressure, right along that temperature contrast that I showed you. So eventually this high is going to start to break down, and we will bring a few showers in here by the weekend. But today is going to be a dry day for us all across the area, as all that rain again will stay to our north. It's the first time this week that we have no rain in the forecast for anybody throughout the day today. So if you do have evening plans, you are just fine. 80s falling into the 70s. Sunset is at 8:03 this evening. Tomorrow we start to see some changes. The first change you'll notice is a little more in the way of cloud cover throughout the day. We'll call it partly cloudy compared to mostly sunny like today. And because of that cloud cover, temperatures will be running just a little bit cooler across the area at about 80 degrees tomorrow. Then we're at 77 on Friday with a mixture of sun and clouds. Could be a few spot showers over the weekend, but nothing major. And the timing looks to be late Saturday and then overnight into Sunday. And then next week looks terrific. Highs in the mid-70s and low temperatures down into the mid-50s. Nicole?
All right, Todd, looks good. Thank you. Let's take a live look outside at one of our NDOT traffic cameras this morning. This is I-70 at Fletcher Avenue. Traffic here is moving smoothly on the interstates, but a reminder in this area, the Calvary Street Bridge over I-65 and 70 is closed, so crews can install a new bridge deck overlay. That closure is expected to continue through September 19th. The new iPhone could be unveiled soon, and Apple is holding a big event next week where many expect the company to reveal the iPhone 12 with full 5G capabilities. It would be the first iPhone to connect to the new ultra-fast wireless network, but fans may not want to get their hopes up too high. There have been questions for months about whether pandemic-related supply chain issues would delay the phone's release. We will find out when Apple streams the event next Tuesday, September 15th. The boys in blue will be back in action Sunday after the break. A look at what fans can expect from the team this season, plus new safety measures coming to Lucas Oil Stadium. And coming up, all new at 5 o'clock, President Trump signed an executive order allowing employers to defer payment of employee-side Social Security payroll taxes. Our Kelsey Anderson breaks that down for you and tells you what that means. It's 4:50. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back. Are you ready for some football? The Colts are gearing up for their season opener against Jacksonville, and WRTV's Brad Brown shows us how the team is shaping up in these final days before kickoff.
They've practiced outside, they've practiced inside, and they've practiced on the home field. For the past month, all the Colts have done is practice. Now they are more than ready to finally play this first game.
When we practice so hard that we feel like we're getting good game reps in practice. That's how we think we get better. So, hopefully that's helped them in their development, and I know that has helped them in their development, so it's not brand new for them.
The Colts are considered by many to be the favorites in the AFC South Division, largely due to the addition of Phillip Rivers at quarterback. But the veteran signal caller has plenty at his disposal. T.Y. Hilton leads a deep receiving core. Marlon Mack and rookie Jonathan Taylor in the backfield.
When it comes to developing a rapport with the guys that have that feel element, and I don't know that if that's because myself, that's more my style, a little bit of a feel element. Everything may not have to be right by the book. It's just like, gosh, do you feel that in there? I feel it. Do you feel it?
Defensively, it was the addition of DeForest Buckner that got the most attention. Adding him to the likes of Darius Leonard and Justin Houston, Indy's defense is also being talked about in a big way.
I feel like we're very confident as a group. We put the work in, and confidence for us comes from demonstrated ability. We demonstrate the ability to go out and, practice hard, practice well against our team, against our receivers and our quarterback.
And for the first time in 15 years, there's a new kicker. Rodrigo Blankenship takes over for sure thing Hall of Famer Adam Vinatieri.
I really had no indication whether, what decision was going to be made one way or another, and I just had to, pray. And just count my blessings for this opportunity. Regardless of which way it went, I was just incredibly grateful and appreciative to have had the chance.
I think we'll go down there focused. I also know it's important because every year, just talking to Mr. Irsay, he stresses to me the importance of the opener. So, we'll give him our best effort, and we'll give Jacksonville our best effort. We'll be focused and get ready. We want to start the year off right.
Week 1 has been a struggle for the Colts over the past decade. Just one win in their last 10 season openers. This one is doubly important as it is a division game and they are on the road. The Colts named their 2020 team captains on Tuesday. Rivers, Hilton, Leonard, Houston, and Zaire Franklin all earning a C patch. The Jaguars will have fans in the stands for Week 1, 25% capacity, a little less than 17,000, maxed out at TIAA Bank Field. The Colts are also a touchdown favorite on the road. We'll see how it all plays out this Sunday. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Brad, thank you. The Colts home opener is next Sunday, September 20th. In addition to limiting the number of fans to 2,500, Lucas Oil has announced several new COVID-19 safety protocols. Fans should enter the stadium through the gate noted on their tickets. A COVID screening and temperature check will be done on everyone who enters the stadium. Masks are required except when eating or drinking. Social distancing inside and outside the stadium will be enforced. Tailgating will not be permitted in Colts-controlled parking lots. And all concession stands and pro shops will be cashless. Looking forward to that, Todd.
It's going to be nice to have some football back, isn't it, Nicole, on the weekends? All right, looking forward to that game down in Jacksonville. Temperatures today It doesn't feel like fall in football, I'll tell you that much. 89 with sunshine. No rain threat today. That is the good news. Cooler temperatures do arrive tomorrow, though, if you're not a fan of the heat. 80 for your Thursday forecast, 77 on Friday. And notice the low temperatures as well. We're trending cooler overnight, which will be comfortable for sleeping. By the time we get to next week, low temperatures back into the 50s. We'll talk more about your extended forecast and your latest news headlines as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.